What's up, guys? Friday, May 24th. We're going to go over some MLB picks. Got a full slate today. We're back for doing a full show. Try to go over the games, try to get you guys in and out of here as quick as possible with giving you some information you can use to try to add some money to your bankroll this Friday and this weekend. Always bet responsibly. Don't gamble with money you can't afford to lose. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you get these videos as soon as they drop. You can watch them as soon as you can. And by liking the video, it just shows it to more people, helps more people. Don't forget to drop your picks in the comments. We want to catch tickets. Let's catch tickets together. You can follow me on X too. Sometimes I post picks there as well, slips, tickets, whatever. And I've been trying to use the community tab in YouTube as well. So let's get into it. Don't want to waste you guys' time like normal. Going to go over 15 games slate. Going to give you leans on the games that we got here and try to do our best to put you guys on some winners. So let's go. All right, this Jays and Tigers game. The Jays absolutely dusted the Tigers yesterday. Gosman 10 strikeouts. Now you got Alek Manoah going against Matt Manning. Manning, he struggles with strikeouts sometimes. He struggles with walks sometimes. Alek Manoah has been better his last two starts after a rough first start to the season. He had 7 strikeouts in 7 innings his last outing. His best start of the season so far. Only 1 walk, no runs given up, only 1 hit. The Blue Jays hitting 295 right now versus right-handed pitching over the last 5 games, whereas the Tigers are hitting about 200. I do still have some concerns with this Blue Jays bullpen, but since Gosman was able to get deep enough into that game, they didn't really have to use a ton of guys yesterday. So I'm going with the Jays in this one at basically a pick 'em. So give me the Jays. I just like their lineup a little bit more. The Tigers are just kind of struggling right now. So give me the Blue Jays. All right, this Braves-Pirates game, I'm under the assumption I've done this based on Darius Vines going. Still don't know for sure who's going to go for the Braves. Bailey Falter's supposed to be going for the Pirates. He is a lefty. The Braves have kind of been struggling recently to hit. We've seen them not put up a lot of runs in that Cubs series. I was kind of expecting – they had one game where they put up 9, but I was expecting a lot more higher scoring games. Or only 15 runs in 3 games. Not usually typical for the Braves considering the wind was blowing out. But the Pirates, their bullpen is absolutely horrendous. We've seen them 2 games now. They blew 5-run leads. They blew Paul Skeens' loss yesterday, or they blew Paul Skeens winning that game yesterday. Honestly, I lean to the Braves here. I would like a little bit more information, but I just can't back the Pirates. They're in a tough spot. I mean, they didn't have to travel, but their bullpen is just not trustworthy, and the Braves could definitely get to it. So I lean to the Braves in this one. All right, Nationals, Mariners. Nationals should be sending out Mackenzie Gore. It isn't confirmed everywhere, but that's what I am basing this on. The Mariners should be sending George Kirby. Mariners just came off that series versus the Yankees. Kind of a tough one for them, honestly. They did win the first 2 games, and then they dropped the last 2. So I think this is kind of a tough spot after playing a tough opponent in New York and having to go to Washington. Washington was one of the most profitable teams in baseball. They've cooled off quite a bit lately. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. I don't know. I'm hoping this game is just close enough. If Mariners win it, they win by 1. That would be ideal. So I'm going to take the Nationals plus 1.5. If it's not Mackenzie Gore, then I would probably just stay away from this game. Maybe take the Mariners, but I don't know. This Mariners team not like doing a crazy amount offensively lately. It's kind of hard to really back either one of them. George Kirby's coming off getting rocked versus the Orioles, where he gave up 2 home runs. A start, not the start before that. The start before that, he pitched good versus Kansas City, but the other start he pitched versus the Twins, he gave up 3 home runs in 5 innings in that one. So George Kirby can definitely get hit. The Nationals offense obviously not doing a crazy ton lately, batting about 228 versus righties in the last 5 games, but I lean to the Nationals plus 1.5 in this. All right, the Rays come into this one having lost 4 games in a row now. They are kind of in a tough spot. They've haven't been doing the greatest. They blew a lead versus the Red Sox in the last game, whereas the Royals have come in this one winning 6 straight. I mean, they was versus the Tigers and the Athletics, so take that for what it is. But they've won 8 of their last 10 games. Have played some weaker lineups, I would say. Tampa Bay typically plays better at home. Sean Armstrong looking like he's going to get the start. It should be a bullpen game for Tampa Bay. Armstrong usually gives you 1 or 2 innings at the most. Seth Lugo on the other side, 10 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings his last outing, 12 strikeouts in 8 innings before that. Was to the Angels and the Athletics, but he's getting strikeouts. He can get up home runs, but the Royals right now hitting 333 versus right-handed pitching over the last 5 games, whereas the Rays are hitting 206. The computer model likes the Rays in this one slightly. Does have an edge on the Rays, but I mean the Royals. I trust their lineup right now more. So I lean to the Royals. I don't. I think the Rays have the advantage when it comes to being a bullpen game. It is kind of tough when it comes to bullpen games because obviously you're mixing in starters so frequently that you don't get a good sense of how they're throwing. Obviously, they have scouting reports and whatnot, but you just don't get to settle in and get a couple at bats versus the starting pitcher to actually get to them. So it does get a little bit harder to get to the pitchers sometimes. Sometimes it works the other way, but for the most part, bullpen games are tough. This one kind of being a pick 'em. Sometimes some places have the Royals slight favorites, but I mean the Royals are just playing the better baseball. So I lean to the Royals. I actually don't love this game. Honestly, like I said, the Rays do play typically better at home. They're still below 50. These teams are 50-50. The Royals are 11-11 on the road. The Rays are 14-15. So this one's a toss-up. It's a 50-50 game for me. I lean to the better starting pitcher and the better lineup. Just not in love with this game. All right, this is the weird line. The Dodgers come into this one slight favorites as minus 155 around there, minus 150 some places, which is weird, obviously, when you see the Dodgers. Typically, the Dodgers in this spot would be a minus 200 or better favorite, but the Dodgers haven't been playing the greatest lately. They've won 6 of the last 10 games, but they just lost 2 straight, only scoring 3 runs in those 2 games, getting shut out in one of them at home. I was shocked by that, honestly. These teams did face off once already for a 4-game series this season. Cincinnati won the first game, and then the Dodgers took the other 3. Last time it was Paxton versus Montas, and the Dodgers got the win there. Now it's Paxton versus Ashcraft. I don't like Ashcraft, honestly. I think he can get hit by this Dodgers lineup. Paxton can struggle with home run balls, but I mean, the Reds aren't really hitting a lot right now. Their last 10 games, though, versus lefties, hitting 257. If you look at their last 5 games, they're hitting, 67.067. Dodgers are hitting 203 over the last 5 games. Over the last 10 games, hitting 228. Overall on the road, hitting 244. So Dodgers do usually hit righties pretty well for the most part. They're just kind of struggling. Obviously, this line is kind of suspect. It does seem like you're kind of being baited to take the Dodgers here, but I can't really get on the Reds, who've lost 7 of the last 10 games too. They sneak a win in here and there, usually get one in a series, but I don't really trust Graham Ashcraft. I don't really trust the Reds versus a lefty. I don't know. It's one of these weird lines where I think this line should be minus 180 or higher. So it kind of does seem like I'm getting baited, but it wouldn't surprise me if this line closes in the 180s after the public jumps all over it throughout the day. But I mean, I lean to the Dodgers here. I think I can't. I just don't. If the price was bigger, I might think about taking the Reds, but I got to go with the Dodgers. I think you could take the Dodgers. I mean, you could just play them straight up on the money line, minus 150. It is Friday. I think a lot of favorites are going to win today. You could take their team total. You don't have to worry about them winning as long as they score 5 runs, which if they don't score 5 runs in Cincinnati today versus Graham Ashcraft and this Reds team, then I don't know. They're slumping. The hitting conditions are going to be pretty good. We're seeing a total at 9.5 and 10. If the Dodgers can't score 4 or 5 runs at least, I was going to take them over 5.5 at plus money. But if they can't score 5 runs in this game, I don't know, man. Maybe it's time to start fading them. So I lean to the Dodgers here and their team total over. All right, going to Citi Field here. Two teams with bullpens that are struggling. Edwin Diaz blowing saves lots this season, not in his form. The Giants did get some runs back, got a little get back versus the Pirates after going down early in a lot of those games. These two teams have met once already this season. The Giants took 2 of 3. That was in San Francisco, little bit lower scoring games. The Giants 10-16 on the road. The Mets are 10-14 at home. This Mets team, I don't think minus 145 is worthy of this Mets team right now. I certainly wouldn't lay it with the Mets. They're facing Kyle Harrison and the lefty, who's been serviceable. He's given up 3 earned runs in back-to-back starts, but he hasn't given up home runs. So that's one thing that he's been able to limit, is not giving up the long ball. He has a 3.6 ERA, 21.2% strikeout rate, so not the greatest. He doesn't have a bad ground ball rate. It's about league average. This one's a tough one for me. I mean, the Mets versus a lefty earlier, I would have said absolutely fade right away. Lately, they're hitting all right, hitting 233 in recent games. But the Giants are hitting righties well. They're hitting 284 over the last 10 games, putting up runs. This is a tough one for me. I mean, there's value for me on the Giants in this game. 81-degree temperatures, wind blowing straight out to center field. It is Citi Field, so it is a little bit more pitcher friendly, but I just trust the Giants a little bit more right now. So, while I don't love it, this would be a dog that I would look at today. I lean to the Giants money line. I don't love the fact they just played that series versus the Pirates and have used a lot of their bullpen. This one, like I said, is a tough. I just can't get to laying the juice with the Mets. The Mets actually have the worst bullpen over the last 2 weeks. They got a 4.6 ERA. The Giants 3.56 ERA, but they have a 28% strikeout rate, whereas the Mets is only 21.6. That's over the last 2 weeks. So I don't love the fact that the Giants bullpen's taxed, but I lean to the Giants money line in this one. It's kind of a value play, and the way that the Mets or the Giants have been playing, just finding ways to win, whereas the Mets are finding ways to lose. I'll probably be staying away from this game. I was leaning to the Nerfy, honestly, in this one. But yeah, if I had to pick a side, I would take Giants. All right, Minnesota hosting the defending World Series champs, Texas Rangers. The Rangers certainly not playing like defending World Series champs. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. The Twins, not much better. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They did win those last 2 games in that National Series. So they have won 2 games in a row, whereas Texas has now lost 4 straight. Both these teams kind of 50-50 when it comes to home and away records. The Twins are 11-11. The Rangers are 12-14 on the road. Head-to-head, 5-5 in the last 10 meetings. Jose Urena going the righty. He's given up home runs in back-to-back starts. He faced the Angels and the Rockies, so 2 pretty weak lineups. Limited runs. The earned runs he gave were from home runs, but he doesn't get a ton of strikeouts. He's got a pretty low strikeout rate, 15% strikeout rate. He does induce ground balls, so that does help save him by keeping balls on the ground instead of he's got an above average ground ball rate, 51.6%. So it is kind of on the higher side. The Rangers just come off a tough series versus the Phillies. The Rangers have an ERA in their bullpen up over 6.7 to be exact, 12.5% walk rate, not striking out a ton, 1.58 whip. That's not what you want to see, obviously. The Twins on the other side, bullpen's been struggling too. They got a 6.11 ERA over the last 2 weeks, 15.5% K rate, 10.6% walk rate, 1.61 whip. Oh, this is ugly bullpens and struggling Rangers team. I mean, you got 14-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out to center. I kind of would take an over here potentially, but I don't know. This is another kind of weird game. We've seen 5 overs, 4 unders, and a push in the last 10 meetings. Honestly, I would like to see a 6-5 type game again here. Total sitting at 8.5, juice to the over. So I lean to the over, but if I was going to have to pick a side, I have to go with the home team here. I just can't trust the Rangers right now. I don't trust their bullpen. I don't trust what they're doing. But I could see some home runs in this game. Potentially Byron Buxton hitting a home run for the Twins. Maybe Marcus Semien on the other side for the Rangers. Adolis Garcia is always live too. But I lean to the Twins if I had to take a side here. I kind of think the over's possibly in play. Bailey Ober has kind of been similar to a Urania. He got kind of rocked in his last start. 4 innings, 5 earned runs, a home run, and only 4 strikeouts. So 4 strikeouts isn't terrible, but Urania hasn't been terrible either. But he's faced some weaker lineups than the Twins. Yeah, I lean to the Twins here. Kind of want to take the over, but we'll see as the day. All right, we are going to hitter-friendly Fenway. The wind is blowing out in Fenway. We're seeing higher temperatures. Going to be a good hitting environment. 10 to 12 mile an hour winds blowing out to right field. 79 to 85-degree temperatures. So going to be a nice night in Boston for hitting. We're seeing a high total for a reason. Bryce Wilson going for the Brewers. Cutter Crawford going for the Red Sox. Look, I'm going to keep it short. I got to take the Red Sox in this game. I trust them just a little bit more. What I seen from that Brewers, they cost me 13 grand the other day. So this could be a spite play. It kind of is. I'm still a little salty from that. I didn't lose 13 grand of my own money. I lost about $220, but it was the last leg of the parlay, and the Brewers got shut out by the Marlins. Couldn't get anything going. They kept hitting fly balls and ground balls and stuff. Ended up costing me what would have been a $13,000 win. So I'm a little salty from that. But Bryce Wilson, definitely not my favorite starter here. The Brewers are not bad on the road. They're 16-14. They've won 6 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. We typically see some somewhat higher scoring games, but that's more recently. Bryce Wilson, though, he can give up home runs. He doesn't usually go too deep into games. Cutter Crawford's been pretty serviceable. He had a bad outing versus Tampa Bay where he gave up 4 earned runs, but he still did well 6 innings. He can get strikeouts. I think I got to take the home team in this one. Both teams recently hitting like in the mid 200s, 230 to 244 versus righties. Let's see, the Red Sox 3.97 ERA over the last 2 weeks. The Brewers 3.38, so pretty similar as far as what they're allowing, but I got to go with the Red Sox in this one. I don't really trust Bryce Wilson, and I like the Red Sox more at home. Devers, he's now batting .304 with 10 home runs versus right-handed pitching this season, so I could see him putting one over the monster. Tyler O'Neill, always a good guy. Willie Abreu, batting .291 with 5 home runs versus righties. On the other side, the Brewers, Contreras is always dangerous. Gary Sanchez. Yelich hasn't really done a home run hitting since he came back from injury. Willie Adames, potentially 247 average with 6 home runs versus righties. So I think we see some home runs in this game. I lean to the over, but if I'm going to pick one of the sides, I'm going with the Red Sox in this one. I think the home team gets it done. All right, I'm not going to talk much about this game. You're seeing the Orioles as heavy favorites. Chris Flexen going for the White Sox. Crazy end to the game yesterday. I'm seeing potential of a rain out here. 60 to 70% chance that this game gets postponed or delayed. So I don't really want to spend too much time on it. Lean to the Orioles -1.5. Probably not going to be betting this game. Don't love the weather situation. Lots of humidity in the air, high temperatures. I was going to take a Nerfy, but I don't know. I don't know if I trust Chris Flexen a lot. He hasn't been terrible as far as, let's see, what is his actual numbers? He is 7-1 to the Nerfy on the season. Corbin Burns 2-1 on the road. He's 5-6 overall, so he struggled at home. I don't know. This game is kind of just a pass for me, really. I lean to the Orioles -1.5, but that's about it. I think this game has some rain issues, so I don't like that. So Orioles -1. All right, National League rivalry here. Shota. Oh my God, why can't I say his name right now? Imanga. I don't know. I've been able to say it before, and now I just lost it. I'm having a stroke apparently. Miles Michaelis going. Shota Imanaga going. He's got a 0.84 ERA this season in 53 2/3 innings. So, the best pitcher in the National League so far. He's only given up 2 home runs in his last 5 starts. Those were basically the only earned runs that he's given up. He's averaging almost 7 innings per start. So if he can go deep enough into this game and the Cardinals can struggle versus him, I think the Cubs can get this one done. Um, Pretty public play with him on the mound. And I mean, there is some value with the Cardinals. They're hitting lefties 273 over the last 10 games, whereas the Cubs are struggling right now offensively, hitting 185 over the last 10 games versus right-handed pitching. So this one is kind of tough for me because I want to take the Cubs. I don't love how they're struggling offensively. They do typically win these games. They've won 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, and typically we see them a little bit lower scoring. Only 2 of the last 10 have went over the total, so we see a lot of like 4-3, 5-2 type games, 5-3-2, 4-3 type games between these two. So it wouldn't shock me to see another game like that. Miles Michaelis last start versus the Red Sox was serviceable. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. He's given up 3 earned runs, 6 earned runs, 3-2. So he's given up home runs in 4 to 5 starts. I don't love the way the Cubs are hitting, but I just don't know if I can back the Cardinals right now. This team does kind of just bug me. I just don't love the way that they hit. Without Contreras, I think they struggle. So when you look at the bullpens, the Cubs bullpen actually has been better over the last 2 weeks. 2.84 ERA. They're getting 29% strikeout rate, whereas the Cardinals have 4.57 ERA, 22% K rate, 1.35 WHIP. So I'm gonna go with the Cubs in this one. I wouldn't blame you if you want to take the value with the Cardinals here, but it's hard for me to fade Imanaga. So, I said it right. Congrats to me. The stroke is over. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Cubs here. All right, going to Coors Field, where Rockies come back home after a crazy ending to yesterday's game versus the Athletics. Both these teams had to travel pretty well cross country. I mean, obviously, Colorado didn't have to go as far, but 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out to center field, left center field. Not bad temperatures, like high 60s. And the Rockies bullpen has been absolutely terrible. They absolutely got destroyed in that Athletics series. The net two. This doesn't include yesterday's game, my numbers, but their ERA is up over 6.48. 41 and 2/3 innings, 2.09 WHIP, 16% strikeout rate. So absolutely abysmal bullpen. Just got rocked. Used out pretty much everybody they had available yesterday. Phillies 3.07 ERA, 1.05 WHIP over the last 2 weeks. Christopher Sanchez going, it's Phillies run line for me or nothing. The Phillies have won 8 of the last 10 meetings. They met once this season already. 2 of those games were 1-run games. Sanchez and Feltner went the last time, and the Phillies just eked out a win, 7-6. They did win one of those games 5-0. Ranger Suarez pitched 9 innings in that game, but Christopher Sanchez has been pretty good at limiting runs, not giving up a lot of home runs either. Whereas Ty Blach on the other side can get absolutely rocked at any time. He just came off giving up 6 earned runs in 3 innings versus the Giants. So I don't think he gets any easier of a matchup here. Phillies hitting 268 this season versus lefties. Over the last 10 games, hitting 261. So that's staying consistent. Rockies hitting 194 versus lefties over the last 10 games. So I don't trust this Rockies bullpen. I don't trust this starting pitching. Phillies did just play a good tough series versus the Rangers. But when you got to ride this Phillies hot team right now. It's Phillies run line for me or nothing. I just cannot get to the Rockies. I think Bryce Harper could hit a home run. Maybe Schwarber finally gets one after coming back from being out for a while. But the Phillies, one of the hottest teams in baseball, guaranteed 9th inning. I mean, obviously don't love laying odds and runs, but you could lay -2.5 if you want to get plus money and not lay juice with the Phillies. Or you could look at the Phillies team total. It's probably going to be at least 6.5, though, for you to get plus money. So I'm going to take the Phillies run line. I think they win this game comfortably. All right, 2 lefties going in Anaheim here. Logan Allen, Patrick Sandoval. Both these pitchers have 8-2 no-run first inning records. Logan Allen 5-0 on the road. Sandoval 4-0 at home. I was thinking about the Nerfy in this game. I think this one starts a little bit slower. The Guardians have been one of the hottest teams in baseball as well. They got 33 wins on the season. They're 15-11 on the road. Angels are 6-16 at home. I think Logan Allen does enough here to limit runs. His last two outings have been solid. Sandoval hasn't been terrible, but he can still give up the home run ball too. It wouldn't shock me if this is a little bit lower scoring game. Recently, the Angels are hitting lefties better. They're up over 300 versus lefties over the last 10 games. Guardians hitting 271, so that does make a little bit concerning to take a nerfy, but I do think that this one starts a little bit slower. I'm going to take the Guardians. I'm going to take the Guardians though on the money line in this one. I think they're just the better team. This is kind of a suspect line of being a pick 'em. The Guardians bullpen over the last 2 weeks, 3.06 ERA. The Angels here, 4.58 ERA. So not terrible. But I just trust the Guardians a little bit more the way that they've been playing. I mean, this is kind of a weird line, but it is because it's Logan Allen and the Guardians are on the road. So I'm going to take the Guardians if I got to take a side, but I think the nerfy is in play in this one too. All right, going to Oakland, Ross Stripling and Justin Verlander. It's Astros money line or pass in this game. I'm not going to touch the Athletics after yesterday. Yeah, they got to come back win, played extra innings, but I just think they get a tough matchup. Ross Stripling has not been good. I don't think it's going to get any easier for them facing an Astros team that doesn't strike out a ton. I think Stripling gets probably rocked pretty early in this game. Astros have won 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, including 5 in a row. So even though Justin Verlander's strikeout numbers are kind of somewhat down, obviously he's getting old, but it's Astros for me. All right, Zach Gallen and Braxton Garrett. I lean to the D-backs. I don't love the price. Obviously, it's a huge one. Don't really love idea of laying the run line, but Braxton Garrett's been absolutely getting rocked. 11 earned runs over his last 9 and 2/3 innings. He does have 13 strikeouts, but he's been giving up lots of hard contact. He faced the Mets, and who are starting to hit lefties better, and the Phillies. So take that for what it is. D-backs do hit lefties better on the season. They are better at versus lefties than they are versus righties, but recently they've kind of come back down to earth over the last 10 games, only hitting 227 versus lefties. Marlins hitting 248. Trust me, there is huge value on the Marlins, and I really want to get there, but Zach Gallen typically better at home. This is a lot of square plays today. I don't love this game with the price, but I think the D-backs find a way to win with Zach Gallen. So, well, I don't love it. I would like to take the Marlins. There is some value on them at times. I just don't know if they can get this one done today. All right, final game of the night. What should be a pretty good one. Soto making his return to San Diego after being traded here. The Yankees are playing pretty good baseball right now. They did lose 2 out of they split that series 2-2, but they do have 35 wins on the season. They're 17-9 on the road, whereas the Padres struggling at home. They're 10-16 at home. Padres are not a profitable team this season. They're 27-26 overall. These teams head-to-head, 5-5 in the last 10 meetings. Yankees have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. Carlos Rodon has been giving up home runs. That's where he's been struggling, is just missing the zone here and there and leaving hanging balls and stuff. But even though he's surrendered home runs, he hasn't been giving up a ton of earned runs. He's going at least 6 innings. Yu Darvish on the other side, 4 straight games without giving up a home run. All 4 of them, he didn't give up any runs at all. One of those, he faced the Braves, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Reds. So, I mean, 2 really high-scoring teams that he gave up no runs to. I mean, this is going to be a tough game. I think my only concern here is the Padres struggles at home. I do think this is a tough game, honestly. I lean to the Yankees here. The Yankees hitting 280 versus righties over the last 10 games. Padres hitting 250 versus lefties. Overall at home, though, Padres hitting just 162 at home versus left-handed pitching this season, whereas the Yankees are still hitting 261 on the road. I don't know. I think I got to go with the Yankees here. You're getting them as basically a pick-em price. Uh, Man, there's no value for me on the Padres, who I just don't trust at home right now. So I like Darvish. Um, he has a pretty good slider and stuff like that, but I trust the Yankees a little bit more. Luis Arias has been obviously on fire for the Padres, so he probably gets a hit or two for sure. Um, if you're looking at players versus a lefty on the Padres, Jurickson Profar is like the only one who has actually good numbers, but all of the Padres guys hit way worse versus lefties. So even Luis Arias 289 average, whereas he hits 341 overall. So his average drops over 60 points when he faces a lefty. I still think he's going to get some hits in this game. On the other side, the Yankees versus a righty, we know Stanton, Judge, Soto. Aaron Judge leads with 12 home runs, batting 278. Soto, 308 average with 11 home runs. Verdugo's got good numbers. Rizzo, who's kind of cooled off lately, still has good numbers. Stanton, 11 home runs, batting 246. So Volpe, 281 with 5 home runs. Lots of good numbers. Aaron Judge and Alex Verdugo both do have home runs in minimal bat appearances versus Darvish. On the other side, Manny Machado has a home run, but not very good averages. So I'm going to go with the Yankees in this one. It wouldn't shock me to see. I mean, Soto might not get anything to hit. It'll probably be pretty public. So it wouldn't shock me to see maybe a couple home runs. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on Soto just because I feel like everybody's going to be betting it, but it wouldn't shock me to see Soto hit a home run back in San Diego either. So Aaron Judge has been on fire. He's hard to ignore, but I got to go with the Yankees if I'm going to take. All right, that's all I got for you guys. As far as trying to give out a parlay, I've been kind of a little hesitant lately on parlays because it's been hard to hit them. But I do think the favorites kind of can get it done today. I don't mind the Blue Jays, the Braves, Red Sox. I think the Dodgers win. That Twins probably can get it done there. Cubs, Phillies. Probably throw the D-backs in, the Astros. So there's definitely some you could look at putting together. I don't have an actual parlay, but these were the plays that I was looking at here. I don't have it saved, but I'll share it with you guys quickly. So these were the plays that I was actually going to be looking at. Jays money line, Phillies minus 1.5, Cubs, Twins, Red Sox money line, Dodgers money line / potentially team total over 5.5, and the Astros. So that's what I was looking at as far as plays for today. But I'm not sure if I'll lock in a parlay or not. But it's probably going to be lots of favorites today. That's the way I'm kind of feeling. I'm going to be looking at some home favorites and then a couple of the away favorites. Don't love the idea of that, but I just think that's the way it goes today. Today's going to be a little bit of a square day, I think. Some tough games, but yeah, this video went longer than I would have liked to, as usual. It's hard to not give out a lot and then get on rants here, but if you guys made it this far, appreciate you. If you didn't, just go through and check out all the picks. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Sorry, this video is getting out late. Still trying to give you guys information and then do my day-to-day life stuff. So that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks as always for watching. Good luck today. Let's make some money. Try to add some money to that bankroll. Peace.